Oh my goodness, hello. Um, I don't even know if this is showing under the title that I've had, which was about going back into the past and, allowing ourselves to just let these moments that seem cathartic come up, um, and have them and to be really healthy about it. So, okay, hi, Coyote here. It is February 24th. I'm going to have to actually read on how to do this because I just press buttons and go. And it looks to me like I should better how to launch my own talk when I've scheduled it for a few moments ahead. So, hello, wherever you are. If you've come, great. And if you hear this later, fine. I had been inspired to do this video because I had a cathartic moment that was brought up an issue of the past, and it felt um, just gonna try to get this a little bit better so I see more in the now. Ugh, okay, let me see if I can raise the volume a little bit. Oh, it's up there. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some cards on what the cards say about being cathartic. That is, if something spontaneously comes up, your past is expressed, you weren't expecting it, and you have such a great release of anger. And in fact, it could be even joy. A lot of times, though, the catharsis is something that was anger, disappointment, sadness, fear based, um, something tragic, horrible, could be a myriad of things. It could be bliss. Hi, I'm thank you so much, Deborah, and anyone else who will pop on. It took me a moment to get here. I don't even know if what I actually put out to post was there. I'll find out later. I guess it'll come back to me because I did say to set a reminder. But I was just mentioning that I need to go back and probably read the how to. I just sort of find my way through this, and here I go. Anyway, the most important thing is tonight's topic, and that is if something happens where spontaneously anger or other feelings, whatever they may be, come up, and especially if you can find yourself in a more quiet place, a time place for you, could be driving. It might even work out well that way because the way that the body, you're sort of engaged in this other act of doing, and yet you're at the wheel and you're able to express, no one's around. The thing about spontaneity is don't stop it if you can, because energy needs to move that's been stuck in the body. And sometimes we've dealt with something in the past and think it's been handled, and perhaps it has to the best of our ability at the time. But if it comes up again, especially now, in this now time of age of Aquarius, and we just went through a portal of 2222. Look at me, I'm still trying to get this. So I look decent. Okay. So it's good to let the energy move. Now I want to address this. I want to close the door because I'm feeling a little distracted with other noises, which cats are here, but the door is probably open because they've come in. So just excuse me for one moment. Let me shut the door. All right, thank you, Angel. All right. So you probably saw earlier, for those who did not, I first let me say that it's not a new thing. There are many types of therapy that, of course, when you go to a traditional psychologist, there's a bit of a repeating to tell a story, to build your relationship, to sort of address the topic and situation and occurrences that have led you to that therapist, psychotherapist, psychiatrist, because they're meeting you for the first time, unless they're 100% psychic, they see the whole situation, doing you have to open your mouth. So usually when you're visiting traditionally in a wellness situation, it takes You might not even get to anything because you've got that hour or perhaps two, and you're telling. And then the therapist has to say stuff like, okay, I've got things, I really get this gist. I'm going to give you this and this to think about. I'd like you to come back, and now we're going to spring forward and perhaps talk about utilizing tools and other measures. But there's a certain amount of talking when you usually go, and they listen. They might give you something soothing to dwell upon, and like homework or practice assignments or books to read. The art of therapy that way can take a really long time. And I'm not saying that it's not good. It's just not good to keep repeating the story and stay in the same place and not be able to release the energies that you want to, whether it's the sadness or feeling mighty empowered some way. It all will lead to empowerment. Old traditional therapy, that's like a usual first step. This that I'm talking about could be that you've done therapy with you or not, but usually you're in a stiller place or something you're doing will instigate, influence, and cause that energy to come back up. And granted, during this time, there's been a lot of extra stress, a lot of extra get tos, situations that were very complicated, and it didn't have to be that way, but for a lot of us, it still was stressful at times. So, what it may start to do is bring up feelings and situations that at first we don't know what they're connected to, or we might. And in my case, I was having an experience today, whilst driving, that an old situation came up, and I'm not even clear what triggered it, except I was driving. I was finishing up doing a few errands to get home. I was a little tired. I certainly would have liked to work more driving. My day was kind of slow monetarily, and I spent money. And I did different grocery shopping things, and I prepared pajamas. But now getting to this cathartic thing, when that energy starts to come up, when you feel that you want to express something, it would certainly be great if you could do it as soon as possible. And in my case, I was driving, so it was really good because it wasn't something that was interfering with the driving. I was getting on a ramp and it was going to go a few minutes some distance. I knew right where I was going, and I was very focused on the driving, but the feeling of this particular situation came up. So it'd be interesting to see if I could remember what exactly the cold weather or a certain thing that I was thinking. That piece I don't remember, but it brought up a time, and it could have been the cold, but it brought up a time. Um, Maybe I was even thinking of the chiropractor. Excuse me, having an appointment tomorrow, not with the chiropractor, but with his wife for a massage, which is probably going to be canceled because we have a snowstorm. Their office closes, and I was thinking about money and deciding, okay, so I won't put the money for the to the what you call it, the massage. I'll just put it back toward bills or whatever it is, because I was going to treat myself based on I wouldn't be seeing the doctor for a week. I'll be seeing him next week. So I was going to put the money towards something that was of wellness on my body. And I thought the massage would help me currently with whatever's stuck in my body that keeps myself revisiting, manifesting some angst in the back, as well as the massage might trigger things that I need to release. So for that, I was looking forward to going. But what happened was I had this other release of being in college and in a time when I loved being in the library and on crutches. Yes, it would take me longer. And most of the time, I was really good about getting to class pretty much on time. But the crutches thing was new. The class I would needed to get to, where I thought I had more time, and the bell rang, that meant the change of class and get to a class, which usually have probably about 10 minutes to get to a class, if that, maybe less. This particular dance history class was now in a different building. And earlier I had said it was on the second floor, but I really believe it was the third or fourth floor, hence the elevator, big deal with the elevator. Lots of kids, lots of people getting into the building at the same time, person on crutches and knapsack. And, being first in line, even if you get there on your crutches with your knapsack, hobbling upstairs, having to hold onto a railing, taking your time, the people are gonna go by you. So you and your big self are clogging up the stairway because there's people coming down, people coming up, people switching through that up and down lanes. Took a while. Anyway, this teacher was not nice to me. She had a history of not being nice to people and picking on people, especially people who don't speak up for themselves. And it's not a thing you normally do, rip the head off your instructor, which would have been absolutely fantastic. And I would have been a hero. Because at times she was not liked at all. And I don't even know if she knew. She probably knew. She probably didn't care. So I'm just trying to find a way to do this. I think I'm going to try that once I hit. Let's see if that makes it any better, guys. All right, now the cats are going to irritate me because they're trying to get out the door. Anyway, so I had this cathartic moment. I thought I'd go into the cards. I see what they would have to say about allowing ourselves those times, which are very healthy, because again, during these times, we're wanting to raise in our own frequency. We're wanting to be really clear and clean. We're wanting to visit our shadow so it holds no power over us, because also we're getting away from finger pointing. I'm not saying at times we're still not frustrated. I too am in contradiction when I smile a lot with people who have the masks and we talk and really try to come to a place of, just being we're kind to each other. So it's good. However, I have to really say, and it motherfucking bothers me, the people with the mask on their face when they're talking so intelligently, but they're just in case, got this thing around their face, and they're breathing in the carbon dioxide. Now that's their choice. That's their choice to breathe in fibers of a mask. That's their choice to consider that, well, they've gotten used to it. That's their choice to feel that, well, there's still something in the air because of variants and they just don't know. That's their choice, even though they know that most of there's been some kind of game and some kind of psychological and or lying from the governments and stuff, but they're still doing it. But it can bother the shit out of me in moments because I'm like, you just told me how motherfucking smart you are in one sentence, and there you are breathing in carbon dioxide, knowing full well that plants do need your carbon dioxide and that you breathe oxygen. I mean, it's just gets, these beautiful people are fucking nutty. Yeah, so that will bother me. And you know what? That's something I'm working on because that's their life. That's how they want to treat their instrument. They don't know what I know. Just like they may know some wonderful things, but that may be their soul path to be doing the thing they're doing. So my own self is about trying to find that place where really allow others to be who they are. So I had this cathartic moment about some shadow that was still inside me of anger or my own disappointment in myself. But I felt so good having this scenario escape from me in my car while I drove. So the energy of driving was a catalyst in itself for assisting the ease of feeling really fun and great, letting my mouth go, giving this teacher like a new asshole, and not doing it for the kids in class, really doing it fully for myself and taking the full responsibility that I don't care. They can expel me. They can do whatever. They can do whatever. But it's pretty obvious I'm on crutches. And if I get to class late, my scholarship, whatever, is paying your salary. So motherfucking shut the fuck up, you bitch, you ugly witch. I'm on crutches. A gazillion people are coming in and out of the building, doing my best. Bell rang, doing my best to come to class. I don't even want to come to your class. I don't even want to take this class. I think I even dropped it at some point. There were several things that happened. I think I even somehow dropped that class because I can't even remember the mark in that class because it was just like my mind couldn't even grasp learning in the class because I just was so not really just intimidated by her, like how she was mean, but feeling like I shouldn't war back with her. And I wish I had. Because now, either I'm going to feel in full place when I'm with somebody to truly feel like just be you, or I'm going to be in your face and I'm going to rip you a new belly button because I do not take any shit. And I don't want to teach you to take any shit either. But there's a couple of ways this happens. One, knowing ourselves deeply well, in alignment, and nobody coming into our immediate field to give us a hard time. Because you just go, I can feel you want to give me a hard time. No, I do not comply. That is not okay. You can leave. And if you want to talk to me nicely, we'll do that. Thank you. We must take our power. Our power is love, but love is not a doormat. So we've got to show up and say things or look at people where you know looks could kill. We are so powerful. We can choose our own unhappinesses. Now, the point is of all this, it is good to face the things that come up, not feeling horrible in ourselves, but just dealing with those feelings for our shadows, for our sadness, for our anger. And if you're willing, allow yourself to feel good about it, especially when it's coming out from the old, but it's in the present. So therefore, there was something that needed to have light shed on it, which is going to free you and launch you further in positivity, in loving and liking yourself, in taking better care of yourself. And not that you don't, but there's fine tuning all the time as we upgrade, and go up the ladder in expansion and elevated frequency. And when we're really masters, it's like there's so much love that will be radiating from us. Nothing harms us. Everything is present. Everything is crystalline, crystal clear. And you really go, I don't care. I'm good. Took care of it. Or it's just love. It's not even important to me. It's almost like there'll be nothing to really talk about because you got nothing to complain about because you got nothing to shine the light in transparency on. You are transparent. You are that which you vibrate. So I'm just wanting to forward and see what the cards and fun have to say about the frequency of just taking, exploring and letting ourselves release the past through this energy. And I think I even started to say our bodies don't know whether it happened 25 years ago on a Sunday or Wednesday at 1 a.m. or 11 a.m. or now, because the same chemicals are released that create that angst, sadness, anger, disappointment, joy, bliss, same chemicals. We are a walking pharmacy, which is, the other point of this whole worldwide event. You are the walking pharmacy. You don't need more drugs in you. They may become experiences where, gosh, I'm just so flitting around. I'm trying to stay and find what to do. Sorry, making myself not even this. Yeah, last night I had it so perfect. This is just like, no, I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened with this. Okay. All right. Well, sorry about that. This lighting is not really that great tonight, and I've been touching the light now, but it seemed to me it was really good at some point. Let's try this. Okay. Making you crazy, huh, Deborah? I'm driving back and forth. Gotta find a way to have the light be even more. Maybe it was this. Is that better? Is that better? That seems better. I don't seem as cloudy. Okay, good. Just a little bit with the glare, right? So I think it will be fun because the cards are so spiritual. I think they'll have some wonderful things to say. We'll still do numbers. We'll still pick a tarot card. Um, and I don't know that I have I have the energy in me of this, but it's like, let's see what the cards say in support of releasing the past and allowing a catharsis of expression that truly affords us because we've let that energy go. Yeah. Oh, that's like the clarity of the. I know if someone tuned in early, it's like, oh my God, it's like so fuzzy. Anyway, so let's just see what will be this. Those. All right. I was going to see if one of the cats was going to give me a hard time, but maybe not. So, let's see about the cards complementing a healthy catharsis of the past. Because I think it helps us empower us into the new. And I have to say that I don't want to shuffle the cards while I'm saying this. I felt really good. There was a part of me that felt like I really wish I had done what I'd done then. And I think it's a little bit like what some psychologists and other visionaries talked about, probably in the 80s or 90s or even early 2000s. And there might have been ones before. But when we revisit a situation and we're recreating it to put closure, that can feel so, so good. And now the little piece of me thought, oh, I've hurt her feelings or whatever, because I don't really was. I was ballistically, wonderfully, amazingly cutthroat. And it felt really good to take care of myself that way. Now, as a spiritual teacher, yes, there's another way. Just love, just send love. And I think, you know, as I finish up thinking about it and sharing it with you, I can do that. I can send love and ease and pat on my back too, because I felt really empowered that I revisited the situation in such a powerful way. But it came up, and I think it will be very, very helpful in my moving forward. So I invite that as you go throughout your days, if something comes up, especially that it bothered you, you might not have spoken up to a family member or someone you felt of authority, or it could have gone the other way. You could have felt very, very sad. You could be anything that's tragic, but let yourself feel tears. Let yourself bring up a situation. Let your mind's imagination take you along and bring you to a place where emotions can be um, dealt with anew and bring yourself to a more elevated spot. Certainly, if sometimes we can feel it coming on as people, as women, that we have a day that we just want to cry, or we feel down, we're just crying for no reason. That is good too. Sometimes you won't get the vision of, but you will feel something. And so it's important to let yourself feel or have those few minutes of privacy or excuse yourself from a job or excuse yourself from a group and go do that. Go be alone. You can always go back to the party. You can always drive yourself back to the party. But perhaps if it comes up during some type of a reunion or party, you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be taking care of you. Even if you're the hostess, you can always have a good friend take over a little bit, make your excuses, have a little bit of a headache, just gonna lie down, and Sally can take over, or Sam can take over, and be with, because that spontaneity is something that should not be stopped and should be addressed. So let's see what the cards have to say on the release the catalyst release, about dealing with our feelings in that moment. So we have had a really good day. So the cards helping us with releasing the past, catalyst type moments, and power us. Okay. I think we're almost done here with these cards. Wow, I'm getting a lot. Okay. They like to tell a story, that is for sure. We'll put the cards here for now. Oops, pardon. We will get a piece of paper. I guess I'm going to have to just really have to get another book, I think. Let's see what's up. I don't know if tonight I'll need to read from the book or not. Sometimes I like to do that because there's always something that can come up that if it feels right, I'll do it. Wow. Okay. So as I look at them, they're all pretty wonderful. Of course they are, right? The way these are, but it does have to do with a lot of taking care of our temple, knowing that we are the master, that as we do this, obstacles are being removed. And when we do this type of work, some people even call it shadow work. It's a little bit different, right, than traditional. You can't always be, like I was just telling you that if it happens in a group, sometimes you may want to leave your club early or your party early or have someone take over for you because you have to think outside the flock. There's some really, really good cards here you'll recognize. I'm writing down the numbers. Okay. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 cards. We have 2 twos that came up, which 2 is about balance, male and female, the duality of seeing the value in both. And also it will become a master number 22 about creativity and courage, and super moving forward. But we'll take a look at that. That means even more. The 22 that we just went through actually the other day. Okay. So the first card was You Are the Oracle. And this one I'm going to read because it's the first one and kind of rolls in the theme of all that we're going through. So 8. Visualize and embody the goddess of Avalon when you ask your question. She is directly linked to our deepest spiritual origins. She knows all. So in this particular question, we're dealing with ourselves, our God, goddess that we are, and the God, goddess within, even the child within. We're dealing with remembrance of times past. We're dealing with our power. We're dealing in a sacred frequency. And so in this situation, while it shows the beehive the activity of the community, and that mythology is truer than we're told, with the Loch Ness monster, our ancestors watching over us, and this goddess at a sacred site. I believe that for the particular theme, this is letting us know that we are in charge of our healing. We can have healing from and with our ancestors, but since we are the gods and goddesses and we're fine tuning ourselves, absolutely there is wonderful value in allowing ourselves to get angry, to revisit the pain, to revisit sadness, and to move it into a place of empowerment, to move it into a place of care. Now, even though I want to, in my example, give my instructor a new asshole, smack her around, physically wouldn't really have harmed her that day. My mouth would have harmed her, and I know in certain terms would take any gruff. But today I was able to enact it and visualize it and get out of me my disappointment for her to even try to make fun of me and belittle me and make me an example to others of putting up with her, and really to put up with her to get a mark in her class to pass. So this is about empowerment. And when we get to be or relive a moment and take on that empowerment, it only forwards us. Because not only do we end up feeling better and removing or easing, dissolving, transmuting the pain, we've taught the other person something too. And we can go back still, add a dose of love and lots of humor. So whether it's a big cry that you have, or perhaps you have to kill someone, why not? Do it on this energetic level. Now, of course, things can be felt, and energy radiates and exponentially travels. But it's not like you're staying in that mode for hours on end to be evil. You're actually working on a particular theme to ease the body you're in and create space and create a new dialogue of the cells. So I'm going to be my own moderator and get rid of this person. So, yeah, like that. There we go. Yeah, I don't know this. Your Samin, Sweeney, no, no. We're just gonna always delete what you have to say or delete any message. There isn't any of that here. So now, don't be the victim. So at one point in time, when we've got to go back and revisit something that was painful, disappointing, something that felt sad, something where we felt we might have empowered ourselves differently, we can look at it as though we somehow were a victim because that person was so mean, because that person has a title, and we let them. We played an exchange game, and we felt something about our worthiness or unworthiness. So in the case that I was giving you an example, maybe you have someone similar. Just don't be the victim. So here we have someone who, and I'm going to read this one too, that I'm going to say is us, represents us, and represents the moment that's coming to us to revisit, that we can replay what happened and we can change the course of our energy. We can change that course of our feeling so that we can deal with whatever shadow, whatever was hidden there that ultimately gets stacked up as disease, gets stacked up as older age, gets stacked up as some kind of self-esteem issue, or perhaps builds up with some kind of chip on our shoulder where we do react rather than respond, and where we might not seem like we're the victim because we're so fast to react and be a diva, but it's really about something underneath bothered us and not play the victim. Well, want to read this one because I don't know where to get this card. Watch out for empty enchantment and false promises made in the heat of the moment. Love should not require sacrifice. Responsible choice can prevent tragedy. While we are revisiting the moments that come up, and to clear shadow, make it our friend, and transmute it, by knowing this now, we need not become victims in this present and future. We will get better and better at recognizing when we're about to store energy because we don't speak up, or store energy because we feel compelled out of old programming to be respectable to a person who's not respectable to us, because we may have a program where we're afraid of authority or money or position or our marks in school or mark at work, because we don't say, wait a minute, excuse me, wait a minute, let me get back to you, no, excuse me. It's okay to shake up someone else when they're shaking up you, especially if in that moment of being a frequency of love, while people are bombarding you and making you example, if you cannot fill back up on that love frequency for self, love frequency, and have it radiate, love frequency, have it radiate out. And you could also respond back and say, I'm really disappointed in you that you might think, make me an example. Here I am on crutches. One of the students who know me little, maybe they know me a lot, maybe they don't care to know me at all, but you felt you could walk on me. I'm on crutches, I'm a student. Felt you could make fun of me. You're right, because maybe I don't stick up for myself. I want to be really loving with you. Oh, I can't. In this motherfucking moment, I want to slap your face. I'm going to take my crutches and smack you off over the head, you motherfucker. You better be afraid of me. Hurry up, run down the stairs, you weasel. I have just a little humor over it because it's good to get it out. And this may happen with a lover, this may happen with a stranger, this may happen with someone you've known for years. Maybe it's a friend and you get to toss her from your life, or could be a dog, could be anything. But the point is to take care of this unit that we've plunked ourselves into so that we become lighter and brighter and we understand how our mechanism works. So it won't take years, and then all of a sudden the shadow has to be dealt with. We have cathartic moments in our car. But the catharsis, yes, anytime is good. But taking a look at the cards, they're so supporting with, you're the goddess. Yeah, don't be the victim. Yeah, speak up. Don't want to visit, don't want to have tons and tons of baggage to unload all the time. Now imagine there are a bunch of us growing up that almost to be human on the planet, we have some baggage. It's nice to have less and less. And it's nice to have less and less drama. But this is giving us permission, I think, this particular conversation with the cards. It's like sometimes if you are in therapy or if you are in a holistic relationship with a particular doctor, sometimes in your moments of visiting health and taking care of you in the transition, you have someone saying, listen, I hear you. I'm giving you permission. If you haven't given permission to yourself, be easy on yourself. Go a little lighter, have a little humor. Okay, this is an interesting card that for me is almost a duality card because it's filled with so much love and support, knowingness, brightness, and yet this is a card that I had heard the word death on. And I think that may just happen in other particular situations. But I could say, if it were relatable in death, when we're having our catharsis to take care of ourselves and upgrade ourselves, isn't it kind of like a death? A death of that piece of the old self that we need no longer to hold on to because we've got ancestral help. You could call it angelic help because we are nurturing the child and person within. We're revisiting it. Our trunks sniff out. We know what's really going on. We can trust ourselves now. Our eyes will keenly see through anything that's been, and we will cut through that moment with the scent with our eyes, with our own gentility. We have a lot. The elephant doesn't always really know how strong she is. It's a strong motherfucker. It's a strong, strong animal. But when it's treated well, like by humans, gentle, and in nature, it's gentle. I'm thinking of a scene in a movie where people can train elephants to like squash squash other humans, use them in battle or use them for executions. What a thing! The animal is forced to learn this. My God, this brings up circus schmirkus. I'm not into circuses. They always bothered me, but that's me. They always bothered me. As a kid, I didn't like going to the circus. I didn't like the clowns. I didn't like seeing. I mean, I liked the thing like the horseback riding, but I didn't like a lot of stuff. It just felt forced and unusual. But anyway, this is a card of trust. This is a card of obstacles are being removed from your path. So if you're having a cathartic moment where it's like spontaneity, the tears come up, the anger comes up, the words come up, let it come up, let it come out of you. Don't think it's wrong. Don't think it's a bad thing. Especially, you've got a private moment, or you can give yourself private moments to get a baseball bat or get a pillow or have that swearing episode in the car or writing in a journal. Let yourself have these moments in being spontaneous, that you are supported by invisible angelic helpers and ancestors watching you, who you're a part of, who are also assisting in your growth of elevation. Elephants are so wonderful, gentle giants. So obstacles are being removed from your path. We'll go over the numbers in a moment. This one, think outside the flock. I had this yesterday when I was reading it. So, in order for our growth, expansion, our own survival, our own mastery, we can't think like everyone else. We have to take care of ourselves. We can't fit in, especially when you're so individual. Like I was probably very individual, and to tell you the truth, I probably intimidated this person at the time because I was very pretty in college. I was very pretty, and she used to pick on me like in dance class because I would maybe keep a smile or have my mouth open during learning. She'd come and shut my face. She'd literally come and shut my lips together, like, who the fuck are you? Let me do the exercise. Don't touch my body. But I was a little bit like, just, she was trying to help me. I was trying to see the best in her. Me, the kid, the student, trying to see the best in this stupid ass teacher. God bless her. She's from God. She's from whoever created us, right? She has a right to be here. She has a right to have her soul journey and experience. Knowing what I know now, come from love, but love is not a doormat. Love is not turn the other cheek to get the other cheek smacked. Love is, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? And then speak up for yourself. Just to get it straight. Just to get it straight. You just want to be clear. You want to be clear because you don't want to stuff it back inside. So we must think about the outside the flock. And most of us these days in the past 2 years have been very well awakened that we are with the herd of the human race, but we're not buying stuff because we are allowing ourselves to expand, to transmute, to feel our feelings, to go to the next level. Despite whatever's happening around us, we're doing our best to get to the next level. We don't want to stay in the muck and mire of deceit and lies and old ways of chains and old ways of being living in a game of deceit. And this is nice. Be calm and anchor your energy. So by having a cathartic moment, by letting the past come up that was hidden, we are getting a moment to really recreate, visit, and then we can become calm and anchor ourselves in that which we experienced. That there's nothing wrong with that. You're still unmastered. You're not losing it. You're gaining it. You're not getting crazier. You're actually letting go of the older you to fit into your new skin. You're actually going to another step of evolution of you. And you may recall that this probably happened in the past Maybe you didn't even know what you're doing. Maybe you felt a little bit bad about whatever it is that happened when you have these cathartic moments, but it's okay. I recall a time I was in therapy and I had asked the therapist if I could be angry, and she got afraid of me. I said, I've done this before a long time ago. I need to hit a pillow. I need to yell. I need to get my hurt out of me. She got afraid of me. She thought that I was strange. She got afraid that I would hurt her. Jerk. Right? There. These people don't know what they're doing. A lot of these therapists don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know better. So, anyway, she said, if. Uh, one moment. I'm sorry. Oh, anyone gonna go? Don't be eating. Don't be eating the wire. So she was the thinking where people would come down the hall, running down the hall because I was in sort of a facility where I was having this session, and people would be worried for her or maybe for me. And she was very taken aback. So I think that was one of the last times I went to her, or maybe the last time, because I needed to express myself. And I wanted to do it in a safe environment because that's my feelings were coming up. So it was almost like I had to stop my feelings because that environment did not allow for that sophistication. Because also they gave out drugs at this particular inner city, uh, like rehabilitation psycho center that I went to, because it was, by donation. You could have sessions, you could pay what you had to kind of facilitate speaking about what was bothering you and how to get to your own next steps. So I got a cat that's exploring the room. So it is okay. But once you start to be cathartic, face those feelings, let yourself be expressive. Expressing yourself isn't just like, I'm creative and I'm making up this new job and I'm coloring my hair and I'm doing this art thing and I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna go to bingo, helping my grandchildren, doing something different with my pets, blah 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 blah. It's about you, at some point centering it. Because we can do all this meditation or prayer or affirmation, but along there, something is going to come up. The past comes up. The past is coming up so we can either feel the joy and remind ourselves of bliss and have that revisit and play that scene out in our head and learn to love ourselves deeper, pat ourselves on the back, or we're having these other trouble moments that are stuck as shadow to empower us to bring that up to a level which will sort of mirror and be the same as that which was bringing us joy and bliss, and to make more room for joy and bliss in that feeling so that we just radiate that light, not just sometimes a golden light, not just sometimes a rose gold light, not just sometimes a purple light or a green light or a yellow light or the black light when we're really pissy mad and going through a crowd like you could just like bite people and knock them down and stab them. We actually just vibrate usually at a higher end, and because we deal with what we're going through, and it's a natural care response. It's not unusual. We go, oh, and we just letting it come up, turning it into a scenario from what it was into something that's more easeful, more empowering, more us this moment. And so we can transmute it and feel freer. And at some point, we're calm, we anchor our energy, we're vibrating more love. And so even that person that we just ripped them a new asshole, it's like, you may have deserved that, and I forgot to give you that new asshole, but you are from God, you are of light, and I thank you for the opportunity for making me more of a master. You can thank those evil demons. Well, thank you, evil demon, because I'm not afraid of you, and you make me more of a master. So out you go to the golden portal. All right. Protect your sacred body temple. You are the oracle, you are the god, goddess within and without. You are in charge of you and your health and how you react. And it is not diva and it is not rude and it is not mean to take care of yourself in any moment where there is a question or an actual accusation and assault. Take care of yourself and protect your body temple. Protect your body temple. Because right now, this suit of meat is what we go around in. Us divine beings is what we're plunked into. So take care of it. Whatever that is, whatever is bringing us happiness, we might not even want to tell anybody that sometimes I do, like, we're going to color our hair. Might want to keep it to yourself. You're going to lose weight. You might want to keep it to yourself. We're going to actually visit something that was bothering us. You might want to keep it to yourself. When start a new business for a while, you might want to keep it to yourself while you're protecting your body, while you're going through a catharsis, while you're going through a creative moment. Of course, you feel blessed and you want to share with certain people, but maybe you want to keep some of that to yourself to protect you, to get comfortable with taking care of yourself, to assess, and also keep patting yourself on the back and falling deeper in love with you. I met someone I gave a ride to yesterday, a Marine. And I don't know if I shared this in my talk yesterday. He shared with me he was an alcoholic for 35 years. But in the last few years, he was now really like getting more scumbaggy. I'm saying these words. He was living in a tent. So in a city outreach, I, found him or he found them, and he had cancer as well, but they couldn't operate him because he had been on a binge. He hardly had any sobriety. He asked me if he could call me. He can try to call me, and if he can call me. He's not make material. Not interested in him as mate material. He felt alone. He talked about some other women, like he's not into other street women for sex or anything. Whatever he was going through, I don't really care. That's his road, his choices. Interesting, a decorated Marine who's brought people into suicide missions, brought some of these people back, right? I wouldn't call it necessary. Afghanistan, where else was he? Was Iraq. He was in really some places where, in fact, he shared he can't do 4th of July. He has to go somewhere quiet because after doing many of these different missions that he did, he said, I can't hear fireworks going off. They remind me too much of bombs and, all the blood and things that go along in real war. Not a real movie war, a real war. So he's not mate material at this time. Could take him 2 years, could take him 2 weeks, could take 2 months if he has big epiphanies. But it'd probably be good to go as a mate 3 to 5 years if he's really into his spiritual world, really into stepping up and not falling back on the crutch of alcohol. He's got some hurdles to walk over, jump over, climb over the best he can. Big old ass Marine. But inside, he's wounded and he got to visit the things that he's afraid of, like maybe that he lived through motherfucking destruction of bodies and land and environment, and the way military plays with the pawns of those who step up in valor. Oh yeah, you go over there and you go over there and you go over there, and this comes from the top government. You go over there. You're pieces of nothing in a game. Oh, your son died. His blanket with his coffin. That's a big mother friggin' deal. So, all I'm saying is we all have our stuff. It gets easier and easier, so you don't feel like killing yourself or drinking. It gets easier and easier, but we're also taught, like, Don't revisit it and tell that person they're an asshole or in that moment. Normally I like you, but you are a motherfucking asshole. Normally I like you. Normally you behave just fine and I think we get along, but right now, you head is up your ass. I mean, there's no other way to say this sometimes to people. There really isn't. If you were to really, really say what really, really, really you meant, that would just colorfully solve a lot of bullshit. It would be right there. Instead of being super nice about it. Because sometimes super nice, you don't even really think of being super nice. And sometimes things happen so fast, especially when you're a kid or usually I'm a nice, really nice lady. Things happen so fast. What? Huh? What are you? Huh? What are you doing? Well, we don't ask that next question. So it is good if you have a cathartic moment that comes up all of a sudden and you feel like swearing, you feel like hitting something, you gotta burst out in tears. Let yourself do that. And if you can, if you at all can, pull over the side of the road and cry. Let yourself have this because you are gods and goddesses and you're fine tuning yourself. So let's visit with some of the numbers like two, which is a balance, which is bringing the male and female, the yin and yang together, co-creating with the universe, resonating with peace and flexibility, allowing yourself to connect to your highest self. And seven, prepare for your spiritual awakening. The one that says, don't be a victim, prepare for your spiritual awakening. You want any less divine by allowing scenarios of taking it and putting it up and shut up. Three, I love three. Motivation and movement, the flow of energy. This was 12, great. Motivation, movement, the flow of energy, obstacles are being removed from your path. Yeah. Another balance card. Thinking outside the flock. Another one, partnering with the universe for your greatness. 6, this is about getting rid of negative energies, number 6. Yeah. Well, I wish I had remembered these all. I'm going to start to remember these more and more. But 6 is rid your life of negative energy. Connect to your higher self, which is, right, you, the divine master in meditation. Embrace inner peace. Take care of you. Have more self-love. And it does speak to sometimes 6s are a mirror that you've been that you may have been in fear. So you're trying to find a way to solution. And then one, I love one. Straight like an arrow, strong and assertive individual, your self-discovery, the power within, a great start to new beginnings. What is it I'll add to? Find out that number. So we have a 9. I have a 5. We have a 7. Okay, so I know what the number is. Let's pull a card, a tarot card, to complement this reading. I also want to look up again 22 and play that for you because there are 2 2s in this as well. We need a card to complement the value of having cathartic moments. Good. All right. All right. So let's just read the number 22. So you hear that. Let's go down. What is the symbolic value of the number 22?
According to iPublishing, number 22 symbolism, soul mission, duality, selflessness, relationship, and balance are all shown by the number 2. The number 22 represents double the amount of energy.
Additionally, this angel number has a strong relationship to emotions, intuition, and idealism, and these are just but a few. But 22 is considered a master number of creativity and courage. So we'll put that there. The total of these cards is number 3, which was about manifestation and motivation and movement, things happening in 3, mind, body, spirit. So again, in having cathartic moments that are healthy. Um, Love, wisdom, good fortune. Go after your dreams. Connect with your highest wisdoms, and listen to threes as they flow to you. Know things happening in threes. In fact, today I went and bought pajamas because I kept having the feeling of buying pajamas. When I went to buy the pajamas weren't very high priced, but they were marked down to, um, I think $13. So they were not used, and they're going to be comfy. So I'm tired of wearing my older clothes that I wore as pajamas because I'm going to get rid of this particular outfit. I just wanted to have something comfortable to wear in bed. I've been wearing that same thing for months and months, but I felt like it was just time to get what we would normally call pajamas. And then so patience was pulled. This is the card that was pulled on allowing us to have cathartic moments, or when cathartic energies arise, what to do. Let's see what this author that had to say about patience. She has it as a number 14, which is really number 5, which is about change, adventure, um, going on a journey. Well, we're going on a journey when we do allow ourselves to experience the old in a new way. So, change, manifestation, appreciation of the world around us, gratitude, abundance, and shifts into wellness. Yeah, shifting into wellness. So, let's see. Great. Patience, moderation. This card reminds, and this is the author, the card reminds me that patience will bring me into recognition of an alignment to my purpose. All my needs are met, even though I may not see it yet in the outer visible world. The angels are looking out for me. Moderation in all things is required right now. So, how I would interpret this in terms of the reading is that when we allow ourselves to revisit wounds, or revisit something that we thought was finished but obviously came up, whatever that scale of emotion is, that empowers us more in clarity, and that we can see about being patient with ourselves so that it wasn't a waste of time to allow this new transition, and certainly give ourselves some space to explore this and receive this, and just having patience with that side of ourselves. Like sometimes we might think, we've come so far, we've been on the earth quite some time, we've had all these great things happen to us, so why aren't I richer or prettier? Or why am I not at that new address, or maybe that new car? And I think to just have some allowances of ease, that angels are helping us, that it's okay to like be chill with things as they unfold, and that we this patience will bring me into a recognition and alignment to my purpose. So maybe there's you out there that you're being guided to a new purpose, or your real purpose. I didn't think, I think a long time ago, I didn't have the courage to lead class or figure that I was a spiritual leader, because I thought people were smarter than me, and they had titles, and they were taking books they were reading and going to lunch. That was a class. They were taking this other well known person in their work and seeing where there was homework. Sometimes there were actual homework essays and exercises in these books, and they were going to turn it into a group study. They were going to turn it as a bridge for people to grow and learn from. Now, when I think retrospect, same people who were leaders and thought well of, they had their own motherfucking things they needed to learn. They were either like giving their power away, falling in love with some other person that really just couldn't return their love forever, or they had weight problems, or they were had their own sense of money problems, and yet they were moving forward and they were doing well. They maybe have this sense of judgment over, doing this kind of job rather than that kind of job, and their hobby had to be their hobby rather than their real job. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things we do to ourselves. It's time that we stop. So, when feelings come up, whatever they are, driving your car, having a party, going on your way to work, the supermarket, let those feelings come up and address them. And the mastery and the allowance and the coolness is to play with it and turn it into something else and have fun with your getting angry or feeling sad. Let yourself go through it and feel that range of whatever, and pat yourself on the back for allowing yourself to have this past that's come up in your now to actually elevate you and free you. I think that's all I really got to say. So we're at an hour and about 7 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me, or whenever you'll turn into this. I really appreciate you. My little coyote heart loves you, and I wish you have a beautiful night wherever you are. You are powered by the stars. Don't forget it. You're more powerful than you realize. Bye.